Hi everyone, I will be discussing the 2011 film Himizu, which is a Japanese drama. So this follows two teenagers in the aftermath of the 2011 Japanese earthquake tsunami, and they're dealing with a lot of issues in their family lives, and sort of how they come together and sort of want to plan out their future, while also trying to resist the urges to kill sort of evildoers that have wronged them. This is a very interesting film. It's based on a manga, which I think came out in the early 2000s, which is actually a psychological horror from what I could make of it. I haven't actually read the original manga, but it is this movie takes what appears to be a psychological thriller and turns it into a heartfelt drama. It's sort of like if you were to take American Psycho as an example and then rework the movie into being a drama about mental health and clearly trying to win an Oscar. It's a very weird idea. So therefore, though there's lots of scenes that are, show off the actors' incredibly superb acting, and they are like, even though that the actors are portraying like 14, 15-year-olds, I think that they're a bit older than that, but they were still high school students. Because in the behind the scenes of the DVD that I watched this on, it has like the actors saying like, "Oh yeah, I haven't been to school in like a month because of this film," and stuff like that. So these kids are incredibly talented, and behind a very talented director, Sion, probably mispronouncing that name, doesn't matter. He directed Noriko's Dinner Table, Suicide Club, Strange Circus, a lot of more sort of like obtuse, sort of like weird cult films, especially Suicide Club. That's incredibly sort of a big cult film in the Japanese exploitation horror mystery genre. So it's interesting seeing him make a more small scale, lower budget film, which I did quite enjoy actually. It does have its issues, of course. This film was actually made like during the or like just after the earthquake and tsunami in 2011. I think the filming was made afterwards, but it had only like recently happened. In the behind the scenes documentary, which goes for 75 minutes on this DVD, it's very, very interesting how they make it. The director pretty much states that he feels that he would not have credibility as a director if he was to not feature this after this whole event. So throughout the whole story and movie, it's definitely on the backgrounds, and we keep seeing all these allusions to potentially a scene at the end of the film, or at least presumably at the end of the film, where a bunch of characters are trying to find another character, all within the destruction of the towns after this tsunami and earthquake. However, how it eventually plays out is not the ending that we thought we would see as the audience. In fact, it comes off as almost like they wanted to film this scene just because it had recently occurred, and they clearly couldn't connect it well enough to the main story. which feels incredibly disappointing, actually. Though thematically, the events that are sort of transpiring in this sequence during the remnants of the earthquake, it does connect to the climax of the film, but not in a satisfying way, which I can't spoil. But if you were to watch this film, I think you might agree that the way this recurring scene connects to the climax is dissatisfying and almost offensive, even though that the director claims through his documentary on the film that he clearly did not aim to make this offensive whatsoever. That awkward moment when you talk about your review trying to point out a plot hole, when in reality it's actually symbolic of what the director was trying to convey. Yeah, that's the ending scene of Himizu. It's me, again, in a pink shirt. Whoa. So, Himizu, it has a recurring scene that is filmed in the earthquake-torn city of somewhere in Japan, doesn't state. And even though it does actually reveal itself to be sort of a metaphor / dream sequence, it still does have a plot hole, which I'm pretty sure is still a plot hole. It's, without trying to spoil anything, it is the Chekhov's gun. And those who have seen the film will understand what I mean. Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. This was a great film. Excuse me. Its plot is, as described in trailers, in the DVD cover, is not actually really what the film is about, but the film is definitely relatable to some extent. It remains to still be comedic and upbeat despite it being incredibly depressing. And I thought this was a fantastic time. I would actually highly recommend this film just because of the performances of the actors and actresses. They're quite young and they portray people in despair very well, which I don't know if they were affected by the tsunami in any way, but they definitely can portray their emotions a lot better than I've seen in a lot of other Japanese films that try to do what it's aiming to do. Himizu, great film. I'm trying out not giving a rating to films anymore. You might still see a few film reviews in the future that do have reviews. I might have filmed them prior to this one. But we're gonna just test it out. We're gonna see if ratings really matter, because I don't think a rating is good enough to, sort of portray how I would really feel about a film. Either that, or I will consider putting in a second point score. Maybe there'll be a quality score and maybe like a cheesometer score, something like that, where the film is bad but still quite enjoyable. Alright, I think that's my review for today. I thought it was quite an enjoyable film, very weird, does have some very weird elements that they sort of subdue. And I hope you have a great day, and see ya.